So we are talking about living with fear. As much as we like to, we cannot eliminate fear from our lives. Even irrational fear. We have to live with a certain amount of fear. The way one might have to fear with someone other handicap. When trauma happens at such an early age, fear is part of the residue. Remember though, the brain can learn now things and new patterns, but it takes practice. This means that you have to push through the fear of unknown things and also new patterns to form and become habitual. The old patterns have been there for a long time and are difficult to overcome. You can't get rid of fear, but you can form new ways to deal with it. Eventually, the brain may get the idea that some of these things you have been sorry, guys. Oh, where were we? Have been fearing are not worth bothering about anymore. So pausing there, one example that I've given previously was being successful, right? I was self-sabotaging in fear that if I was successful in the way that I wanted to be, whether both or either my adoptive parents or my birth parents try to take credit for that. They haven't. I've had my success. Neither one have taken credit for that, so I'm really grateful for that. But, it was overcoming that fear to work through it. Excuse me, sir. Sorry, my kitten is wanting attention. Alright, where were we? The old patterns, no, we were already there. New patterns will have formed that are as strong as the original patterns of fear. Remember that you can't learn to play complicated pieces on the piano unless you practice scales over and over again. They form patterns that will be found in every piano piece you will play. Learning those skills will make it possible for you to play the piano well. How does one learn to type? No one was born with the keyboard type pattern in their brain. The pattern seems to have been thrown up on the keyboard somewhat randomly. Yet we have practiced for a while. We don't think over and over again, where do I put my fingers when I type? The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It becomes automatic. The brain has a pattern that it follows. No one was born knowing how to ride a bicycle. Yet one can learn. Stop riding for a long time, then pick up a bicycle years later and ride as if one had never stopped. So she's basically using the phrase practice makes perfect, right? But when it comes to habits and changing that fear, right? Working through it. Now, there are rational fears, right? So like, the fear of, say, a natural disaster, right? Say, for example, depending on where you live, right, you may be at a higher risk for wildfires. So having that backup plan, or like, floods, or just having that plan in place, that's that control. But when it comes to like healing, right, doing journaling, self-check-ins, therapy, those are things that we can use to work on dealing with our own fears. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next part.